Hello, and thank you for your submission. In this essay, I have highlighted some areas in red. They are grammar mistakes. Some sections are highlighted in green. They are vocabulary mistakes. And some sections I have rewritten the sentence, and that means I have shown you a more advanced way of writing your sentence to get a higher score. So let's take a look. There is nothing that an uneducated person can teach an educated person. Do you agree or disagree? Maybe. In my opinion, nowadays having a good education is very essential in one's life. That's why most of us try hard to get university degree and to have our own position in life. Okay, so here I've got university degree, and so this is adjective and this is noun. When you have adjective and noun together, if your noun is single but countable, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, then you have to have an article, a university degree, to get a university degree. We do not say an because our word has started with U. University starts with U, but the sound is y, university, and that is why our article has to be a university degree. And to have our own position in life. But to be educated, it does not mean that you know everything, okay? But to be educated, so I don't need it, I've just talked about it. To be educated does not mean when you talk about be educated, you don't need to repeat it again with it. This is our subject. To be educated does not mean that you know everything, and even uneducated person can't teach you. Again, I have adjective, noun. My noun is single but countable. So I need to have an article. An uneducated person. Okay, so I'm going to change that to black, and I'm going to change this article that we have added to red to say that I have made that change. Okay, maybe you don't have opportunity to study, but you may earn such skills and experience that you will conduct your life better than well-educated person. Here, this is incorrect because the order of the words is incorrect. So, maybe does not come at the beginning. Subject is at the beginning. You might, and then instead of don't, we make it negative. You might not have. Instead of saying maybe you don't have, we say you might not have. That is the correct way of writing that verb. And then we have opportunity. Opportunity is a noun that needs to have an article. You might not have an opportunity or the opportunity, whichever one is correct, to study, but you may earn such skills and experience that you will conduct your life better than, again, adjective, single countable noun, than, I need an article, a well-educated person. So, in your introduction, you have already answered the question, which is exactly what the examiner wants to see. First of all, now I have put firstly because when you talk in your next paragraph, you've started secondly. We can't say first of all, secondly. They don't follow the same pattern. So, firstly and then secondly. That is much better. So I'm going to change that. Firstly, mostly people can't get education due to the economic condition. People can't get, again, education needs an article. People can't get an education. Education is a noun. It's a noun that has to have an article. can't get an education due to the economic condition. Now, economic condition means you're talking about the government or the politics of a country. And usually we don't talk about government or politics of a country. We talk about the fact that a student can't have an education because of possibly their financial status or financial difficulties. But actually, they gain such skills that are very useful for her life. Okay. But actually, they gain. But actually, they can gain, maybe, such skills because it is not a fact. We are just stating our opinion, and our opinion cannot be a fact. And when we use can, that means we are giving an opinion, it is not a fact. But actually, they can gain such skills that are very useful. Now, the subject is they. And if the subject is they, then we can't say his or her life. We have to say their life because your subject is they. And when you say their life, you're talking about many people, so this also needs to be plural, their lives. Now I have rewritten this sentence from here to here. I have rewritten it for you. Pursuing an education, that means trying to get an education, might be impossible. This means it's a positive sentence, but it has a negative meaning. Might be impossible for many due to financial hardship or financial difficulties. However, skills can be earned, so they can gain skills. Skills can be earned by other means. It means in other ways. So here I have made the sentence passive, and I've also used slightly better or more advanced grammar words, vocabulary words. For example, here you have a colon. It has to be a comma. So we have used a comma because we have used a linker. For example, again, adjective noun, we need an article. An uneducated person can gain more money in business than the person who has academic and specific knowledge in economy or in business administration. Okay, so that's fine, the person who has academic or specific knowledge. We only use and if academic and specific knowledge are the same topic. But you're talking about two different topics here. That's why we use or. So this uneducated person may have, because we're talking about third person, uneducated person, may have experiences and skills which he, she can teach, and we usually say teach to even an uneducated person. That's fine. I've made it a little bit more advanced. Thus, or therefore, there may be skills which can be acquired, it means can be learned by an uneducated individual. I've written it in passive. Secondly, it may occur that our education will not be usable for us and you won't be able to work with your profession. First, we start here by our education, and then the sentence says you. We need to try and use the same subject. So, our education and we won't be able to work. We work in a profession, which is a different preposition, and in our profession again, because we have to try and stay with the same subject. Now you're going to talk about a specific example, so we say specifically. In this case, again, adjective, single noun, I need an article. An uneducated person can teach you how to do something without education. How to do what? how to do many things, how to do certain tasks, certain jobs without education. In addition, persons without education have to be inferior. Why do they have to be inferior? Maybe you mean usually are inferior. Is that right? Are inferior because they feel less valued. And to be in not very desirable economic environment. And so instead of to be, we're going to use the verb are not in, and then here again, because I have got desirable, economic, environment, I've got adjectives and noun, I need an article. Are not in a very desirable, again, instead of economic environment, we're going to say financial, very desirable financial situation, because we're talking about individual circumstance. This is why these kinds of people are more, we need the adjective here. Tolerate is the verb, we need the adjective. Tolerant. And better know, it needs to be the other way around. And know better. How to be gentle. How to be gentle with poor people. Very good. Okay, so here better is the adverb, that's why it comes after the verb. On the other hand, again, I need a comma. On the other hand, sometimes even talent is good enough to become a popular and successful person. Let's take the example of the greatest vocalist and pop singer Christina Aguilera. She doesn't have any musical education, but she is so talented and experienced person. If you do not have a noun, so talented and experienced is correct, but you have a noun. When you have adjective and noun, you can't say so talented. We say she is such a talented and experienced person because I have adjective and noun. That can teach technique of vocals, and even can has to be the other way around, and can even be a coach. I think you're talking about a coach. Okay, so what's happening here? Such a talented and experienced person that can teach technique of vocals, the subject, and can even be, even, usually, always, never, sometimes, these words come between the auxiliary and your main verb. So this word has to always come before the main verb. Be, we need a for a job, a coach of the voice. To sum up, again, I need a comma and a lowercase e. Education is not everything that leads you to be a perfect person. Sometimes experience and practical skills are more important. Also, your talent is your tool to be, again I have adjective, single noun, to be a remarkable person in life. That's why I think that sometimes with an S, it's necessary to take into account advice. Advice is never plural. It's always in single form. Take into account advice even from an uneducated person. Very good. You have had a very clear and logical method of expressing yourself. You answered the question right in the introduction. You've given your opinion, you've given reasons for it, you've given specific examples. You've done that throughout the task. That's very good. Please work on your the articles that we use for adjective and noun, and the word order, the fact that these words go before the main verb. Thank you for your submission.